Hey y'all, it's Ricky from Clap If You Don't Care. Today is Friday, August 7th, 2026, which means it's a New Music Friday. It was a jam-packed Friday for new releases, so buckle up, Chuck. I'm going to walk you through the songs and albums that came out today. I've done the hard work listening and sifting through the tracks, so you don't have to. One quick note before jumping in, we're changing up New Music Friday a little bit. So instead of dropping little song clips that barely tell you anything, I'm actually going to tell you why these songs are worth your time. So if you want to hear everything talked about today, the full playlist is linked in the show notes. Or check out my Instagram for snippets. That's RickyXLeo, so you can listen along after the episode. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about the bops and the flops. The first album I want to talk about today is by Karol G. It's called No Me Arrepiento de Sentir Tanto. Yes, I did practice that just to make sure I got it right. I also looked it up, and that translates to I don't regret feeling so much. This is Karol G's sixth album and possibly her most vulnerable. She described it as shaped by love, sadness, and self-acceptance. In a recent interview with Elle magazine, she talked about feeling lonely in the music industry. I think you get a sense of her feeling of vulnerability based off the album cover. So let's talk about that first. It reminds me of something from Alanis Morissette or Britney Spears in The Zone. The cover basically sets the tone for the music we're about to listen to. I would describe this album as a dynamic journey showing off her versatility, going from an English song like Still featuring Bruno Mars to a Selena-like 90s cumbia right after. Perhaps the best beat on the album is in Baby Wow, which is a cool hip-hop beat, nostalgic but feels futuristic, and it also features a sample of coolie dance rhythm, which millennials might know from the 2000s hit Move Your Body by Nina Sky. This is a bold thing to say, but this is possibly my favorite Karol G album. It'll definitely have you shaking your booty or wiping a tear. It's a bop for me. Switching gears, let's talk about Wetzel's new track called Jaded featuring Langley. This is the second time this duo has collaborated. Their first collaboration was called That's Why We Fight. Jaded is built around a conversation between two people carrying old heartbreak. I love their voices together and love anything that Langley is putting out. She is having an amazing year with 3 hits in the top 10 of Billboard currently, and it's possible that this one gets added to the mix. From country to the dance floor, let's talk about Can't Get Over Losing You by the Avalanches featuring Portraits of Tracy. This is a cool electronic dance song that kind of reminds me of older Passion Pit songs, if you remember them. It's got this really addictive beat that makes you want to put this song on repeat. That was not meant to rhyme. UK girl group Flow just released their new album called Therapy at the Club, and it's got songs built around a whole night out, from pre-gaming to the morning after, using the club as a place of confession and release. It's got a sleek 2000s R&B pop groove with sharp harmonies. My personal faves include the very catchy pop track Leak It. I also love the harmonies and melody on Floating, and the Tina Turner or Prince rock and roll-esque vibe on Hater Booth. All right, let's talk about some flops. Miranda Lambert just released a new song called Sunset Marquis off of her upcoming album called Crisco. This is a laid-back, groovy disco country track that focuses on a strong string ensemble. I will say that I personally like this song. I just think that it lacks an extra punch that Miranda Lambert songs usually pack. It's definitely different and experimental, but I think it lacks that commercial appeal, similar to the track that is doing very well from her right now called Choosin' Texas that she wrote for Langley. Let's talk about Role Model. He just dropped his new album called Chuck Timely and the Hourglass. And how I would describe this album is that it's dive bar music that's perfect for a boat trip with folks in their late 30s. It's kind of forgettable. But there are some songs on this album that I actually like, including High Hopes, Joy, and a song featuring Dakota Johnson called Love I You. The two are rumored to be dating, if you didn't know. After decades of asking, we officially have a Madonna and Kylie Minogue song. For me, it's unfortunate that it was a DJ remix of this song instead of just a standard remix or original version of the song. I think with the collaboration decades in the making, it would have been perfect promotion if it would have been originally on the track list for Madonna's new album, instead of having possibly Sabrina Carpenter. Regardless, I will be thankful and listen to the track, but it's just not my favorite. Let's get back to the bops. Lennon and Maisie Stella, you might know them for their iconic cover of Call Your Girlfriend on Cups or their appearance on the hit show Nashville. The sister duo reunited for the Sterling Point soundtrack, which is a new series on Prime Video. They gave us 4 cover songs from Patty Griffin, Bob Dylan, and Connie Converse. I love how they can change the arrangement without straying too far from the original, and the guitar and vocals are just so buttery on this EP. I'm a huge fan of Lennon and Maisie Stella, and I hope we get more music from them. I also want to mention some cool hipster tracks that I just discovered. The first is a groovy indie track from Noah Guy. The song is called Got You. Another track that I'm obsessed with is a folk indie record from Evan Honer and Medium Build. The song is called Pull Me Out. It's a fun song, and I really want you to pay attention to the melody in the verses. And lastly, Q just dropped a new album called Do You See Me? I've talked about him before on the podcast. He just dropped his new album, 15 tracks that blur the lines between R&B, soul, funk, jazz, and experimental pop. The cool thing is that he wrote, produced, and performed the entire thing himself. My favorites include Silly Boy, Hey There, and I Wish You Were Here. That'll do it for this New Music Friday on Clap If You Don't Care. Until then, let me know your thoughts on these songs, and don't forget to follow and share the podcast with your friends. The songs talked about today are linked in the show notes, or you can check out my Instagram at RickyXLeo. That's RICKYXLEO. Send me songs that you've been listening to, and don't forget to tell your dog I said hi.